If someone tells you that racing is as easy as breathing, well, there's something wrong with the way they're thinking about it, and it's best to walk away from them and go and talk to someone who knows what they're talking about. Hello everybody and welcome. I'm your host, Captain Awesomeness, and in today's recording I'm going to cover how my race went at G&J Kartway down in Camden, Ohio, racing for vets in race number 11, and talking to you guys about how great of an event this was. Now, this was a Saturday night race. This happened about 2 weeks prior to when I have uploaded this video. Sorry about that, by the way. And I can only tell you this, that struggles that I went through this entire season, be it because of my own inability to drive, to be very frank, and then of course some of the issues that I was dealing with on the go-kart itself, all of that culminated into starting to show great signs of improvement. As some of you may remember, mid-season I started to do real well where I was placing well. I placed, I think, all the way up to 5th spot, and then raced in the next race only to lose everything because of the kart just giving me the nightmare that it did. It is what it is. But this time around, the great thing was that everything just worked out according to plan. Not only was the kart actually doing what I wanted it to do and exactly taking me into the turns the way I was expecting it to and just holding the line just like I wanted it to, but also my own driving skill improved, and it gave me the end result of actually placing relatively well. So let's go over all of that by first starting about the qualifier and then of course the actual final race itself. And guys, before I cover all of that, please do me a favor, please hit thumbs up, please subscribe, and please hit that notification bell icon. Okay, going over the qualifier. This is just one lap that I'm showing you guys, and basically all I can show you guys here is that, you know, the line that I was taking seemed pretty ideal. I was struggling a little bit because I had run into some grass during the practice session, so it took me a while to kind of burn all that crap off and try to get a good line in. And yeah, the kart was really showing a lot of turn capability. I think that's the best word to use here. But really, in the end, I really liked the way it was handling itself around, especially this turn coming towards the front straightaway. So all in all, I was pretty happy. I really didn't have any objections to the way it was handling, and it ended up giving me 10th place for our starting position in the final race. Okay, going into the final race, here we are in 10th position with a very capable racer by the name of Otto right in front of us in the blue helmet and I guess blue and white pattern. But we take off, and Reiner was actually sitting in position number 11, and he had the inside line that gave him the upper hand in getting ahead of a lot of this crowd. So I just tried to do whatever I could to basically at this point make sure that I don't get hit by anybody, but then start to maintain a line where I keep up with the crowd that's in front of me and make sure that the pack behind me also doesn't try to make any crazy moves at this point when, relatively speaking, because of how jam-packed the road was right now with nobody really having a gap in between, there's always an issue with accidents and stuff. But here we are into lap number 2, actually, technically. I know that the display up there is telling me it's lap 4, but it's not. Just the way this app of mine records itself, it sometimes makes this mistake of assuming that I'm on a certain lap, and I don't know how to fix that. Maybe I'll look for an alternative. Don't know yet. But anyway, here we are. I'm trying to keep up pace. I did have a hard time, like I mentioned early on in the qualifier, where there was an issue with turn-in, and I had a little bit of it, but the tires have warmed up by this lap, and I started to feel confident. As you can tell, I'm hanging on, and I'm trying to make as few errors as possible. One of the errors is right here. I'm taking turn 1 a little too early into turn 2 here, and that was causing me to have this much of a gap, as you see, all of a sudden getting created between myself and Otto. But at the same time, I was also watching the way Otto and the racer right in front of him were maintaining their line, and I thought that they were kind of taking a line that I wouldn't necessarily take. And all I had to do right now was try to maintain some kind of pace, so this way when the right time would come and I'd catch up to them, I would be able to go around them. So I'm gonna go quiet for a while, let you guys just watch how this whole thing is going until that moment shows up where I find the right opportunity to actually get ahead of these two guys who are right immediately in front of me. And right here you see me go and cut the two guys at turn number 3, and that's because I, like I said, saw them take that turn, which is turn number 3, a little too wide, and I kept myself on the inside and found myself getting ahead of them. So at this point now, I've got this dude in front of me, and I got to find myself trying to do whatever I can to catch up to him and a little bit of the pack that's in front of me. So officially right now, I am in 9th position. I lost a position to Reiner, as I mentioned before. So I'm in 9th position, and I got to find myself in a much better position, and I know I can catch up to him. I've got enough laps still. I just think that I can do a little bit better if I can just keep that pace. I was having difficulty in the turn that I just made through. There's a little bit of a traction issue that everybody was dealing with there, where you go right and left and all of a sudden the rear of the car does not want to hold on. And I think that's got to do with the fact that the material on the track is a little different in certain parts. So in that area it's real slippery, but in certain parts it's real sticky. So can be frustrating, and it would cause a lot of problems for me in being able to stay with the people in front of me. As you can see, there's a huge gap that grows, and that's because, yeah, I am really trying my hardest to keep myself planted to the road. And each time I have to do that, I tend to lose a little bit of speed right here, where the rear just tries to come off, and I gotta do something to make sure it sticks. So it's a bit of a pain, but I'm okay with it. I mean, challenges are a good thing to have, so why not? But anyway, I'm focused, dead focused on trying to make as few of the mistakes as possible, get around this person here too. I think they either slipped up or something. I don't know what had happened. All I know is that I got in front of them, and that was that. So all in all, this was a great race, and that ends our lap. So that wasn't exactly the end of the race. I said end of lap for a reason. The thing is that there's always something that does go wrong, but this time I'm glad that it wasn't mechanical or whatever. It was more of an equipment issue yet again. As you guys know, I initially was struggling with getting my camera to stay in one place, and I was able to manage getting that fixed, but still there is a bit of an issue, and it happened yet again. What happened is the same thing that happened last time when my camera flew off. You see this little case here? Now this is just a cheap Amazon case that I have for my GoPro. It maybe cost, what, $10 or whatever, but it's done a good job of making sure the camera doesn't get damaged at all. As a matter of fact, I'm going to close up real quick and I'll show you a couple things. So if you see right here, there are scrapes here, and there's scrapes, all over the front, and that could have caused a lot of damage. So it's done a good job. However, the problem is the bottom side. The bottom, for some reason, does not want to hold on at all, and I don't get what's going on. Every time there is I guess some kind of G-forces that the cart is taking and transferring to the mount itself, this bottom part of the plastic, it's not like it's breaking off. It's like shearing off or shaving off. I really don't know. So in frustration, I've had no choice but to go with something else. Now this is basically a bare bones kind of cover, and the issue with this, of course, is that it doesn't provide complete coverage, but I'm assuming that some of the issues I have had with this breaking off is maybe the base of this case here. Now the base here is supposed to cover microphone extension, and yeah, maybe that's why it's not as sturdy as I think it would be. Now this is a plastic case as well. Let me just take the cover off so you can see that there's not much to it, but it just seems as if the base is a little bit stronger, a little bit thicker than what this came with, so maybe this will help mitigate the problem I have. But my concern now is that if there is a crash of any sort where the camera flies off and is sitting on the road, it won't have as much protection. So I am going to make sure that I exhibit as much vigilance as I can in making sure this does not fly off and break or whatever. I mean, it survived quite a few events, so this camera is kind of near and dear to me. Anyway, the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is where I have the camera. At first, you've seen that most of my videos were where I had the camera on the nose, and from there, all you could see is my footwork and just what's in front of me. On this particular setup, I have the camera kind of sitting to my side like this. So I don't know, how good that looks to you all, but for me, it's showing me the footwork that I'm doing, at least on the braking side, since I can hear on the audio side of things where I'm actually throttling in, so that's not the concern. The concern for me is my braking points, how long I'm braking for, so that I can learn more. So with that, I want to kind of know from you guys, what do you think? Do you like this side view better, or would you rather have me recording from the front? So anyway, I think I've talked a lot already, guys. Don't have really much else to say other than this, that on September 10th and 11th, we are going to be racing at MCC, which is in Batavia, Ohio. So we're not going to Camden, Ohio. MCC is short for Motorsports Club of Cincinnati. It's a much different track than the one that I have been racing over in Camden, and there's actually 2 series happening. So on September 10th, I'm going to be in the Pro-Am series, so it's professionals and amateurs who get to race together, and then on September 11th is OVKA's own racing series that is happening at MCC. So I'm pretty excited about that. Hopefully the recordings that I'll have will not be short because of the equipment issues that I'm having, and I think I'm going to be having a great time there. I'm looking forward to that. I'm pretty excited about being down there, and I'm sure you guys will too. And of course, if I can find a way to live stream myself racing, that would be best. So we'll see if we can make it all happen. If not, well, I will definitely make sure that next time around I don't wait 2 weeks to upload my videos. I again apologize, I just had a lot going on, and I'll make sure that you guys get the latest and greatest in a timely fashion. That is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you at the next Apex. Bye-bye.